Michael Bocadoro, Executive Director of Dairy Cares. Thank you all for joining us and welcome to the third California Dairy Sustainability Summit. Dairy Cares and our partners have been working hard to enhance dairy sustainability in California for the past 20 years, and with great success. We have a tremendous summit planned for all of you to enjoy over the next 3 days. You're going to learn a lot about Planet Smart Dairy and the world-leading efforts of California's dairy farm families to further enhance sustainability. So let's get started. Today, I'm going to chat with you about cows and climate change and the important role that California's dairy sector is playing in the fight against global warming. There are some who want you to believe that if we simply change our diets, we can address global warming. Simply not true. We cannot eat our way out of climate change. What we eat plays a very small role compared to what we drive, how we power and heat our homes and businesses, and how fossil fuels are consumed to make other consumer goods. Cows have unfortunately gotten an unfair rap, particularly from those who think we should tell people what to eat and, more importantly, what they can't. Let's be clear. Cows create methane, a potent greenhouse gas, and a good amount of it. Cows and other livestock account for 55% of all methane in California. Even when all of that is taken into consideration, the entire farming sector only accounts for 7 to 8% of California's total greenhouse gases, and 10% for the US. Transportation, industrial, and electricity account for more than 80%, and our homes and businesses another 12%. All of these major sources have one thing in common: the use of fossil fuels, which is the main driver of global warming in California and the US. That is not to say we shouldn't be focused on reducing methane from cows. We should, and we are, particularly here in California. And reducing methane from cows and other sources is recognized as critical in the longer-term battle against global warming. Scientists now see it as an important opportunity to offset the impacts of our reliance on fossil fuels. Yes, you can have your cake and eat it too, and wash it down with an ice-cold glass of milk. No guilt. Okay, maybe a little guilt about that cake. If we've learned anything over these past 2 difficult years, people don't like being told what to do, let alone what they can eat. Dairy foods are part of our culture, part of our ethnic backgrounds, and many of us find great comfort in the foods we eat. Many of my days, okay, most of my days, and with a glass of wine, maybe 2, and a few bites of cheese as I prepare the evening meal. The idea that we can tell people what they can and can't eat is not politically achievable or sustainable. If they come for my cheese, they better come armed. So rather than focusing on eliminating meat and dairy, we should focus on making all food production more sustainable. And that's exactly what we're doing here in California. Milk and dairy have long been considered nature's perfect food, and most of us probably remember the old advertising slogan, "Milk, it does a body good." So, what if milk was not only good for our bodies, but our planet too? What if we could reduce the total number of dairy cows in the US from 26 million to just 9 million, and still produce 60% more milk? What if we already did that? And by the way, we have. Producing more with less, fewer cows. Efficiency is our friend in farming, especially dairy farming. Over the past 50+ years, California dairy farms have reduced the environmental footprint of each glass of milk. 45% less greenhouse gases, 89% less land, 88% less water, less pesticides, less fossil fuels, less energy, and less commercial fertilizer. California cows are also great recyclers, and on average, about 40% of the feed they consume is byproducts from other agricultural or food production, limiting and avoiding the need to landfill these materials. Everything from almond hulls to bakery waste. Cows are eating it as part of a highly nutritious diet. And I bet you didn't know that cows in California are like elite athletes. They have nutritionists that design their meals to ensure they get all the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals they need to stay healthy and produce high-quality milk. California's methane reduction efforts are truly world-leading. In fact, California is the only jurisdiction in the world with a statute requiring a 40% reduction in methane, including the dairy and livestock sector. The rest of the world, including the US and over 100 other countries, have only pledged to reduce methane by 30%. And California set our goal 5 years earlier. And California's dairy farm families have embraced the state's ambitious 40% reduction goal and are well on their way to achieving it. Remember, methane is basically natural gas. By avoiding its production on our dairy farms or capturing fugitive methane, we can dramatically reduce our carbon footprint. And what if we could turn that captured gas into usable, renewable energies and displace the use of fossil fuels? And what if we were doing that in a major way and dramatically reducing methane production on farms? There are currently 300 dairy methane reduction projects on California farms and counting. More than 200 miles of pipeline has been developed. More than $2 billion is being invested by the state, farmers, and others. What if cows could power the ultimate EV driving machine? Yep, our dairy farm families are partnering with BMW, fueling vehicles on California highways with clean, renewable electricity. What if cows could power heavy-duty trucks with carbon-negative transportation fuel, replacing millions of gallons of diesel, and dramatically improving air quality for residents throughout the state? Yep, cow gas is replacing 60 million gallons of diesel fuel each year. What if cows could be used to create green hydrogen and power cranes, trucks, and other equipment at the Port of Los Angeles, providing cleaner air for communities surrounding the port? Yep, California is already doing that too. What if cows could produce clean, renewable electricity to power homes and businesses? Yep, we are producing enough renewable electricity to power tens of thousands of homes in the state. As amazing as all of this is, it's just scratching the surface of the innovation and sustainability efforts of California's dairy farm families. Over the course of the next few days, you are going to hear about California's world-leading methane reduction efforts. You're going to learn how dairy producers are partnering with global food companies on sustainable solutions throughout the dairy supply chain. You will hear about global collaboration and how the dairy sector is stepping up to reduce climate emissions, improve access to milk and dairy foods, and help advance sustainable food systems. You'll hear about achieving climate neutrality in the livestock sector. We will talk about how research and innovation in California is driving global efforts, and how our dairy farms continue to reduce their dependence on fossil fuels, and how we are adapting to a warming planet. And finally, a special thank you to all our sponsors, including the California Cattle Council, without which we could not make this important event happen. Planet Smart Dairy, it's happening in California. I hope you enjoy this year's California Dairy Sustainability Summit, and we look forward to being back in person next year. Thank you.